James from Act Audio, Vernon, Connecticut, and we are going to be taking apart this Road Glide, and we're going to do a video for you on how we take it apart, what tools you need, and what screws you got to hit. So what we're doing on this video, this motorcycle, is we're doing front speakers, an amp, DSP, and rear speakers into his tour pack. And we're also doing some underglow lights. But for this video, we're showing you how to take this tour pack apart. I got my man Ethan here who will be assisting us. All right, our first steps is we're going to line this with some protective film, and we're gonna put a fender cover over it so we don't scratch it or drop anything on it. You know, shit happens, you drop tools, drop screws, whatever it is. We don't want to hurt this beautiful fender. Then we are gonna remove these 4 screws to take the windscreen off. So we got our protective film. You can see this stuff's really tough. So, you know, it's gonna be resistant to scratching and whatever. I did put my finger through it, but I was forcing it. Then we're gonna put a fender cover on it to add extra protection and remove the screws. All right, so next we got this here we're gonna take off. We're not gonna do a reassembly video, but because of this vent here, when you're reassembling this, you do wanna make sure that this is put back together properly and functioning properly. Just something to keep in mind. As you can see, it just popped off. 2 clips. All right, so it was Phillips for the shield, just so we're aware. And then next one, we're gonna disconnect these clips on both sides here. Go ahead. On both sides. Very simple, you press that tab and pull it out. So here, there's your tab. I'm gonna press it and pull it out. As you can see, I can do it one-handed, very easy. Then we're gonna remove our grill covers. We remove them from the inside.
Yep, we can push them from the inside.
Oh, you can even actually access them. That's clever, I never thought of that. From the inside, it releases. So as you can see, there's a little L bracket on the outside and push clips on the inside. So you wanna, you know, pry it with plastic from the inside, or like he did, push it, and then slide it out from the L clip. This one has the speaker on it, so we're gonna disconnect that speaker next and remove the whole thing. And we're gonna set that to the side. We're gonna do the same to the other side, and we'll be back. All right, so we got those out. The next thing we are doing is we are removing these screws here on both sides. They are T27 Torx bit on both sides. Then we're gonna come down here and we have to remove, we only have to remove one of these, right? Nope. Remove both of these. This will come off. This is a T25 Torx bit. And on both sides, we got to remove this here, which is a 5/16 hex bit. So we will do that and be right back. So while he does that, I'll just explain. We actually do remove the bottom ones first, from the inside and from the outside, before we remove the top ones, because it's the last bolts that are anchoring. So we loosen up the whole bottom, as you see he's doing here, and removes that piece. We do that to both sides, and then we come back and remove the top ones and drop the whole fairing. All right, so he's got all the bolts out, and as you can see, he actually stood in front and bent over to release those last ones, so the fairing just didn't drop. And now he's gonna remove the fairing. You'll see it comes off very easy at this point. Everything's disconnected, and we actually put it up on a shelf over there to keep it in a safe place. So inside your fairing, your headlight will stay. We do have to remove this headlight for what we're doing here, so we'll take that out next. We'll show you how to do it. So here, he's removing this harnesses out of his way so we can access those 2 bolts there, one there and one over there. They are the 3/16 again. And then down below, you got 2 here, they're the 3/16. And once we get these out, this whole headlight will be removed. All right, so you can see he broke these loose. Then he went down to the bottom ones and removed them completely. So now this whole thing is loose, and he's gonna come back and remove the top ones so that it comes out easier, so it doesn't just fall out on him. He's using his leg there to hold the light in place while he unscrews the last screw. I could probably help him, but I like watching him. So now he's gonna remove the light. You got this one plug on the back, just a little tab that comes back. Unplug's very simple, and we push it out of the way. So next step here is we are gonna remove the pods. Are these the 3/16 again? So we got the 3/16 again. We got 1, 2, and then if we come down to the side here, we have 3, 4, and 5 that need to be removed. And before we can remove those, we do have to disconnect the speaker, which is right here. So again, you're just gonna press this little button and pull it out. Now your speaker's disconnected. Once we remove these bolts, the whole fairing should come off. Harley installed this antenna, so we will have to remove this antenna, but that is not a normal thing that we see to remove on these bikes. So we're gonna do that next. And you know, it's the same for both sides. You got the same 5 bolts over here. So as you can see, we actually just cut the zip ties, and we're gonna pull those zip ties out of there so that when we put this back together, we can just replace the zip tie and the stickies stay there. We didn't remove them. So we'll get back to the screws. Again, he did the same thing. He broke the top ones free. And then he's coming over to the side to remove the bottom 3 and remove the top 2 to remove it at the end. All right, so he's got them out, and this whole thing just slides out. We do have a cable stuck to it here, which, is that normal?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the USB.
Oh yeah, that's the USB for the, so it's not on the other side, but, oh it is, they got one over there. But it came right out after those 5 screws. Here it is, you got the speaker in it. So we're gonna take that speaker out and move on to the other side. All right, so we got the other one out, as you can see. Same thing, we had the speaker plug, we had this wire coming down, we had to disconnect. So now we're gonna move on to the radio. So the radio, we have, these get a little tricky, but underneath here there's a tab that you press and it unplugs. You can see that tab's the blue part right there. This one here, there's a tab on top, right there you press. And when I pull them back, I wiggle a little bit. And then this one here, I'm gonna have to have Ethan do. There's a little tab right there. You depress it and you slide the whole thing back and it'll kind of pop itself off. And there you go. Now the radio is disconnected completely. And we got 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll pop it out. All right, so we got all the screws out. Sometimes they're a pain, so you can see we got some of these out. This one's not. It's stuck in there, but the radio is loose. Same with this one, but that one's out. So don't fight with them to get them out. It's okay, as long as they're loose. This whole radio will then slide out, and it kind of lifts up and slides back. Because you got a little lip here, and you got to get it up over this lip. And as you can see on this bike here specifically, we got the boom amp underneath. So for our situation, we're gonna remove this amp and we are gonna add a new bracket and our amp in the exact same place as this Boom Audio amp. So besides the Boom Audio amp, this baby is all taken apart and ready for us to start doing our own wiring and our own work. right, so we decided to keep going on this for you. Might as well, right? So this one here has got a plug where you can actually lift up on the tab. If I can see it here. You're gonna lift up on the tab and you're gonna wiggle it out. And then we got 2 screws here and here. These look like T25s as well.
No.
Oh wait, nope, no, yeah they are. Oh, they're Torx. They're the 3/16ths, I bet.
Not 3/16. They are 4s.
I lied.
Allen bits.
Well, 4 might work, but that's not what they are.
Well, it is, because that's a hex bolt.
So I'll hold this up for them. There is 2 more screws that hold it into the top part of the bracket. All right, so we got all the screws out and we are going to force this guy out. There we go. I'll be honest, this is our first time seeing this exact setup. So there's another bracket here that we are going to have to remove as well. And it is just some bolts on the side here. We're actually going to reuse those bolts for our bracket. And I bet you there's some up here. Yep, there's another one here on both sides. So here and there on both sides are some factory bolts, and we can actually reuse them because our bracket will secure to those same bolts. So now this thing is ripped down, ready to put all new audio in it.